Hi guys, today I want us to talk about overcoming self-doubt. Now, I have been a victim of self-doubt. Sometimes you start, you grow up and you have goals and you have dreams and different life events come up and you start wondering, am I really going to do it? Am I really good enough? Am I going to succeed? Will I finish my degree? Will I get that master's? Will I be a good mom? Like over and over, I've had instances in my life where I have doubted my abilities, I have doubted my capabilities, I have doubted the power of my own dreams. So if you don't know about me, or if you don't know me, just a brief what is it called, a brief insight into who I am. So I'm the eldest of 4 children. We're born and raised in Marengo Estate, that's in Eastlands, and we grew up in an average income household where my mom did what she had to do to get us through school, and my dad the same. We lost him in 2010. And being a firstborn, there's always that pressure for performing. You're always reminded how you're setting the pace for your siblings. Everyone is looking at you and everything. So you sort of grow up with an unknown amount of pressure behind you. Like at the back of your head, if I fail, then my mom will think I'm setting a bad example for my siblings. So I had to be very, very careful with with like the decisions I was making. I bet I made some very, very bad decisions. Thank God for forgiveness and reconciliation. But what I'm trying to say is you can suffer self-doubt regardless of your background, regardless of your upbringing, your economic status, your education level, your intelligence level. It could happen to anyone. So for me, the one life event that made me aware of self-doubt, like know that this thing actually exists, is when I had my son. I had my son when I was 22. I turned 23 that year, and I was very young. I was in church. I was those girls for all the meetings, all prayer meetings and everything, and boom, there you are, pregnant. So at that point, I remember feeling like I was not good enough. I remember feeling like I had failed. And the funniest thing is that I didn't even think I had failed myself. I thought I had failed the people around me. Like I was very, very concerned with what the people I used to go to church with said and all of that. Despite the fact that they all like acted funny, very few people stood by me that time, and this was back in the day when getting pregnant before getting married was like a big deal. These days I see people even plan. So for me, I grew up in those times where there was so much stigma perceived by when you get a baby out of wedlock. And I remember after my son was born, I just told myself, you know what? This is your reality right now. My friends were continuing. I got pregnant first semester in campus. Please don't forget my mom had hustled. We had borrowed money for me to join campus. I had been called to do agroforestry or something in Egerton and I didn't want to. So my mom paid for me parallel program at KEMU to do business administration in marketing. So, at that point, by the way, I had failed. Blatantly, I had failed. And so I used my son as my motivation to get over where I was at that point. I had to do better by him. I had to ensure that his life will turn out better than mine. Like it turned me around. And I always say that if a child does not change you, nothing ever will. So for me, how I managed to overcome self-doubt is in the following ways. Number one, finding my purpose. I took time, I read books, I associated with people who I admired and wanted to emulate certain parts of their lives. And so I wanted to find why do I live? What pushes me? What motivates me? What keeps me going? And I'm proud to say that I know that my purpose is to educate, motivate, and inspire. So I enjoy teaching, I enjoy helping people come from the dumps to, I enjoy beauty for ashes kind of stories and situations, and that's where I thrive. Number 2, listening to positive voices. You have to, or rather I had to remind myself about what God says about me, despite where I was. I had to acknowledge that I'm a sinner, and without you, God, I am absolutely nothing. And so slowly by slowly, I read a book by Paula White called You're All That, and I remember her emphasizing on scriptures and promises that remind you of what Christ thinks about you. So the one that keeps me going is I can do all things. Not some things, not some things sometimes, not some of the things, but all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I remember to date, even when I'm at work and I'm faced with a challenge, I usually take some time and remind myself, hey, you have the mind of Christ, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Number 3, aligning myself with God's plan for me. I have grown from a point of starting to work on something and then calling God in the middle like, yo, I'm failing, come here, help me. No, to the point of, come, let us reason together. Lord, these are my plans, this is what I would like to achieve, this is what I would like to do. And by aligning myself with God's plan over my life, I find that I am not struggling so much with the decisions. I'm not struggling with my self-esteem, because deep down I know who I am. I have to tell you, it's not easy being positive all the time. It's not easy being focused and fully motivated and energetic all the time, but that's where prayer comes in. And prayer does not have to be a million heavy words quoting many things, deep things. It is just a sincere moment that you choose to share with God and speak your heart to Him. So aligning my life with God's will for me has made me grow my prayer life. I would suggest, if you're a young lady, you could try read some books. There's so many books out there on prayer. My number 1, of course, is Fervent by Priscilla Shira. So once you align yourself with God's plan, you realize you are on the right track because He made you, He knows you, He has the blueprint for your life, so you're better off following Him and seeing where He takes you. And then committed to my goals. I stay committed to my goals. This is another way that I overcome self-doubt. I remind myself where I started and where I'm going and how it will feel to reach where I'm going. And this reminds me when I was doing my MBA. I remember starting my MBA in 2015, right after I moved to Qatar, and I wanted a project. Like, I just wanted something to do, to be sincere. That was my goal. I just wanted something to do. I didn't want, at that moment we were working a shift where you work for 4 days and then you enjoy 4 days off. So I thought, 4 days, what am I going to be doing in 4 days? So then I started my MBA. Come 2016, and then I got pregnant, it became real, like, oh my God, you actually have to go through pregnancy, get a baby, graduate, and that's when the thick of things came to be. But I kept reminding, I couldn't imagine not graduating in 2017 and pushing it to 2018. That was a no-no for me. As in, I wanted to return that student ID at the time it expires, which was in 2017. So I gave it my all, 100%. and I celebrate my wins. I know this is not the first time you're hearing me say this, but it's important to celebrate yourself. It is important to tap yourself and say, big up girl, like you did it, you know, you did it, like go, yes. As in, it's very, very important. If you don't celebrate yourself, how are you expecting other people to celebrate you? You have to be your number one cheerleader. Last but not least, it's trusting in God. Nothing can help you overcome the challenges that life will throw your way as much as just trusting God. Like trusting that He knows what you need when you need it, and when you need it, the Master will make sure you have it. Like He is the real deal. And one thing I remind myself is what God ordains, He will sustain. So if it is a project I am starting, I have already brought it to Him. I have shared with Him my plan. I have told Him, this is the amount of money I don't have, but this is how much the project costs. And then, you know, slowly by slowly, you get these ideas of how to make extra money, you get a promotion, and things start falling into place. So what God ordains, He sustains. And when God begins a good work in you, He will see it to completion. So you have to rest easy. So if you guys have any other tips of how you have overcome self-doubt, or if you have tips that you would like to share, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Let me know whether you like this kind of videos. I really like such calm, nice videos where I get to talk because I'm so talkative. So if you enjoyed this video, it is my hope and prayer that you did, by the way. Be sure to like it, share it with your friends, leave a comment down below. You can just leave a comment to say, hey Joy. Last but not least, guys, stay blessed. I'll see you next week. Yes, I'll see you next week, guys. Bye bye.